And culture segment, and I'm really looking forward to this one, Melissa.
Sarah, I went, stayed right here in Hyannis this week. I went and visited Morrison Glassworks right on Main Street, Hyannis, and of course Brooks and Marley Morrison have owned that place for years. It was on another location on Main Street. They moved here a few years ago. Beautiful, beautiful gallery. Brooks is a glass blower, as is Marley. I think in the interview we talked to Brooks about blowing glass, and Marley does fiber arts, but she also actually has several of her pieces in the store as well. But it was wonderful to chat with them. The cutest baby ever that they have. His older brother Zane was at school, but it was wonderful to just chat with them. I just don't know if people know that it's really a fascinating place. They represent other works as well, and on any given day Brooks is there blowing glass and will do a demonstration on demand.
And they have some really cool stuff, so I'm looking forward to checking it out and meeting them here on today's Arts and Culture segment.
Great. I'm Melissa Chartrand. I'm here at Morrison Glassworks with Marley and Brooks and Jasper. And we're here right on Main Street, Hyannis. I'm so excited to be here today. Just such a beautiful space. Now, you two have been on Main Street a long time, but this is a relatively new space for you. Tell me a little bit about it and what you have here.
Well, we have work by a bunch of local artists as well as ourselves. We have, we make most of the glass that's in here.
We're work in studio, we're work in progress. We're making everything right here. Well, open to the public, free of charge. Come in and see some of the best glass made on Cape.
That's right. You've been blowing glass a long time, and we actually will get to show our viewers what it's like. Tell me a little bit about the glasswork, Brooks. How long have you been doing that?
About 15 years or something.
And it's something, how'd you learn the skill?
I started off just out of high school. I got an apprenticeship with a local glassworker, William Salas, picked me up, and I got a job working full time, getting paid for it. And I was looking to go to college, but then I was around here and figured working would be the best experience, and lucked out,
It's just something that you've taken off and really made into your own.
And I've got over time. Then I got into. I wanted to keep busy, so I bought a torch, what I have here, and set up in my spare time. Set up in the basement, and that's where.
Right, it evolves totally. It's just so beautiful. Now, tell me a little bit of how you decide what you're going to make. And we'll look a little later. You have all sorts of new creatures and critters, and not just glass. Well, I mean, everything. It runs the gamut. Let me start with that. From more traditional to really interesting pieces.
I don't like to stay stuck to one thing, so I just whatever I feel like making, and that evolves into other things.
And that's really pretty much the process, or do you ever sketch something out?
Oh yeah. I'll think about it for a long time. I'll sketch ideas. I'll go back to them. I'll look at them again from a new angle.
Right. And I would imagine with the glass and working with the glass, sometimes perhaps you must start with something, and then it just doesn't go quite that way.
Yeah, the mistakes
turn out to be
the best. Sometimes a blessing if you catch them and look at them right, and you can turn into. They're usually better than you would ever expect.
There you go. Yeah. Do you find that your customers have a particular? Is there some favorite piece that people like to see, or do you? And with that question, I'm sure they come with a lot of ideas.
They like the sculptural. The animals, something they can. Everything. They're amazed by the detail.
Yes.
Mostly I hear like, whoa, is this glass? And how the hell?
Well, how did you do that? I mean, and we'll see when you're working it. It's mind-blowing to me. It's amazing what you do and how you can just take that and manipulate it into the beautiful pieces that you have.
I guess it looks easy sometimes, and people,
Right, it's not as easy as it looks,
I would imagine.
Oh, you do have classes?
And people in the summertime go, and they speak up with the family, and I want to let some people back here and let them make a fool of themselves and see how hard, it looks easy. People think it's just a lot of clicking, click, used to computers and not really understanding how hard
Right.
what goes into it. But a lot of people really respect it, love it.
And now, do you offer classes?
Yeah. As we're not really organized on them, but if you come in and talk to us, we got classes. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And let's talk a little bit to Marley here, who is also an artist. You work with fiber arts. You actually have been a part of our shanty program at one point, which was exciting to have you down at the harbor. But tell us a little bit about your work and how you started with that and the types of things you do.
Well, I work with mostly combed and dyed wool. I use alpaca and llama for the hair. It looks like real hair, but it's actually llama and alpaca. I make anything from dollhouse dolls to little animals and imaginary creatures that I just make up, and yeah, just whatever comes to mind, really.
So, and that's what I was going to say, your creative process, how does it really flow for you?
Sometimes they almost make themselves. I'll just start making something and it's like it just wants to be born, and I just finish making it. And like the little caterpillar babies and yeah, I don't know, just whatever comes to mind. I actually don't think about it too much sometimes, and those are the best ones.
And that is, just as Rex was saying, sometimes when you least expect it and don't think about that. And I think in talking to artists that I've talked to across the Cape, that seems to be the best way. When you plan it out, there's too much restraint, do you find?
Yeah.
You can
I
get
like.
lost in the details.
Yeah, rather than just letting it happen.
Yeah.
So this spot here, again, is just so beautiful right on Main Street. And you, as you said, not only do you have your work, but you represent a few local artists, visual, and then other glass artists as well, which I think is wonderful because certainly there's different types of glass. Tell me a little bit about the types of variety you have here.
We have, works by Kim Croft, which is mostly fused work. She does jewelry and some larger pieces as well. We have Wendy Cavallini, who does stained glass mostly, really nice high quality stained glass.
Brian Rhonda, we got
Who does blown glass like
Richard
soda
Neal.
lime.
Richard
Right,
Neal's
who does
paintings.
paintings and-
Richard Neal's amazing.
Chris McCardle does these ones up here, the collages.
Yeah,
And,
so it's really, it's a
Steve
beautiful little
Taylor.
gallery almost rather than a shop. But as you said, Brooks, at the beginning, everything is for sale here, including, I have to just point out these gorgeous bikes behind me now. Marley was saying you're a bike enthusiast.
Yeah. I rode BMX.
Did you really?
Yeah, now it's an Olympic sport, but I love bikes. And these ones I got for her, found them online, but they were in National Geographic. This photographer up in Chatham had them, put them in a photo shoot,
Right.
and then just had them in his garage. For sale.
Wow. They look, I mean, I for our viewers know I'm not a big bike rider at all, but this is so appealing to me. I would love to take one of these out.
Yeah,
And a matching pair.
And a
too.
matching pair. Just beautiful.
That's-
So the custom work, as you were saying, we were talking about how you incorporate motion and movement from bikes, but certainly if people come in
Yeah.
with a request, you love that challenge.
Yep. I gotta work on my own things, but because it takes a lot of time with custom work, I end up spending a lot more time
What-
because I want to get it perfect.
Right.
There's more expectations, or you feel like there's more, so you spend more time. But yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the time on the pieces that it takes, even the smallest of pieces. What's the timeline for you?
Now that I can do them and not crack, there was 5-6 years where you're cracking everything trying to get to what you're trying to make, trying to make that exactly the way you want, So now I can just, most of the times, there's not as much problem, except when you're working out new things, you got to work through all the problems. It's back to square one when you're thinking something totally new.
Right.
So you got to crack a lot of pieces to make the one. So I don't even keep track of time because.
Time's all relevant.
Yeah, it's good enough. You just got to work at the piece, and like a bug, like one of these detailed bugs. I might spend like 4 or 5 hours on a little bug.
Right. Just to
know?
get it just the way that you want it.
Yeah.
What's the craziest piece you've ever made?
I don't
Is there
know.
such a thing?
Yeah, I haven't gotten too crazy. There's always, I mean, they're all pretty crazy, but I don't know which one's the craziest.
So that's
I haven't made a steam engine yet. I'm still like working on a car. You know, there's a lot of things that haven't been done.
That haven't been done, but that tells
But
me
that's
that of
what I'm
all the
always looking at.
requests, there's never been anything you haven't been able to do. Then I guess.
Yeah, no, there's not really too many. Pretty, unless it's something I just think wouldn't work and it's ugly, or, you know.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we want to tell our viewers to definitely come in. You're here on Hyannis Main Street. Come visit Morrison Glassworks. You can also check out everything online at morrisonglassworks.com. And for Marley, Jasper, and Brooks at Morrison Glassworks, I'm Melissa Chartrand, wishing you an artful day.